Is it okay?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
యూట్యూబ్లో కూడా వస్తుంది ఒకసారి చూడవా?
చూసాను సార్. యూట్యూబ్ ఆల్సో ఫైన్ సార్.
Okay, fine. So let's start. Good morning, friends. Today, Masterclass 33 is on decoding social shopping. Of course, it is. The funny title given here is Biology. That means, are you buying for yourself or you are being under the influence of some social groups? Let us try to demystify how groups shape what we buy really in the market. So there are several groups that influence our buying. It may be our culture and subculture, and our family and friends, and a lot of people who will influence us, because there are a lot of people who come in our social life, and as such, we have the advantage of looking at certain influences which work on our buying process. So here is the discussion: how groups, culture, and family affect what we normally buy, and understanding how our social life changes what we shop for. Let's examine further. So what is then is our buying behavior. We have already talked about it earlier, but to have a very quick wrap up here and a quick recap, we have to have one. It's about why people choose to buy certain things. We choose to buy certain things because of some valid reason. Okay. Now here comes the problem. Are you buying, or are your buying process being influenced by certain people? So it is very important to know how our friends, family, culture affect these choices. You may want to buy X design of a product or X brand of a product, but your family member says, no, 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 X is not good, let's buy Y or Z, as the case may be. Here is the influencing factor. Or you may say that I want to buy a product, a smartphone of X brand, and your friends of classmates may say that no, let's not. You please don't buy this one. You buy that one, and then immediately your choice will change from X brand to Y brand. So this is how your purchase process is being influenced by certain set of people. So today we will look at how groups influence us, how family influences us, and how culture influences us, and overall how people look up to for advice. The simple question here for all of us to understand is: have you ever bought something just because your friends had it? So, this question can be answered by all of us. And most of the time, we may have yes answers to this, because whatever you, I mean, and not all products that you bought are being influenced by your friends or whatever, but most of the time, when you have something to buy, say for example, you want to buy a refrigerator, I want to buy a television. So you may look at your neighbors might have purchased X brand or Y brand as such, and you are very much liking to that particular product, and you ask your family members to go and see the neighbor's television and all that. So the neighbor's influence will again have an effect on your buying a television, going to the market, because neighbors may say, yes, this bright picture is there, sharp picture is there, sound is very good, and we are enjoying, because last month we have bought it, and fantastic. picture is very sharp there, and everything, suppose plus side of the brand, you are under the influence of that type of experience uh, given by the neighbor. See, you never try for any other brand. You just go and try to buy the brand, particular brand suggested by your neighbor. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed thing, but this is a major influencing factor. So that's what we need to understand here. So, how groups affect us? What exactly it means? It means when the people around us change what we think, what we value, and what we do. This is called influence by somebody. So, if somebody changes our thinking, if somebody changes our value system, if somebody changes the way in which we do things, our actions. So, this is where we consider somebody is influencing here. So, who is that somebody? We say here in marketing terminology, there are different kinds of groups which will have an influence on us. First, of course, is close groups, naturally, our family, core family members, and the best friends. The second group, what we say is when you are working in a company, your work teams, colleagues, and all that. When you are in a social gathering, like you joined X club or Y club for that matter, then you have members in the clubs, and the uh, groups we want to be like. For example, you have certain people you like more. For example, I like X celebrity or Y celebrity. So when X celebrity says that you buy this particular product in an advertisement, I may go for it because I like the celebrity, because celebrity influence on me is much more. And there are certain popular people, like say maybe politicians, maybe film actors, maybe sports personalities, or maybe statesmen. So you like to be with them, what they say, what they propagate, and all that. So there are certain groups you want to be like. So that's why their influence also will be there. And there are certain groups which you avoid, maybe because of a number of reasons. This can be X, Y, Z groups. You are not at all interested in being a part of it. So those people do not have any influence on you, whether your attitude or your thinking or your actions as such. So let's now consider how groups change our minds. Is it real? Very important question is, can our close friend influence our attitude? Can our close family members influence our attitudes and our actions? The answer is very definitely yes. That's the reason why marketers also think in terms of influencing consumers via groups. That's why what we said, this is called social buying. Social buying means that you are not buying, meaning, please note that you are not buying. You are being influenced by maybe friend, maybe your father or mother, maybe some member in a particular group which you like most, maybe a celebrity, maybe a sports person, maybe anything, anybody for that matter. So ways groups influence us, let's examine. First of all, fitting in. When you fit into that particular group or not. See, doing things to be accepted by others. When you do things to be accepted by others, not by yourself. See, you would like to buy a pen to be accepted by your friend, not by yourself. See this very interesting aspect. So you want to be fitting into a social behavior. So this is one example: a student buying the same trendy clothes as their classmates. See, whether he likes or not, that's a different story. Definitely, because that influence works well. So a student buying a same trendy clothes as their classmates. Classmates will be the group which actually influence the student here. Then, second aspect is that you want to compare ourselves with somebody, looking at what others have to decide, what we should have. See, this is a very interesting aspect. See, you will be looking at others, what others have to decide what we should have. For example, you ask your close friend, I want to buy a dress. You please come with me and select which what should I have. And the friend may say, no, this color is not good for you. This color is quite good and all. So this is what we mean. Comparing ourselves. That is looking at what others have to decide what you should have. Because you will be looking yourself in others, looking at what others have to decide that you should have. So the comparing ourselves with others and then trying to buy X, Y, Z and whatever. Example, thinking about getting a new phone. Okay. After seeing your friends' new phones, see, you can buy your own phone. Why? You to look to your own friends. That is what we call comparing ourselves with some reference group you are in. Next, getting information. So you don't know. Say, for example, you want to buy, a new laptop. You don't have any information for you with you. So of course you can walk into the shop, okay, and can ask the salespeople. So how do you get the information? Please note there are different sources where you get the information. You can go directly to the salesperson and ask, or asking the group for advice. Which one is more impactful? Yes, this is more impactful. Asking the group for advice. For example, asking friends which laptop is the best to buy. People may say, no, no, see, I am using some HP laptop, it's not okay. Go for XYZ brands. No, under any circumstances, don't go for HP brand laptop. These are the things. So the simple idea here in this is we often follow the crowd even when shopping. That's a very interesting aspect. We follow the crowd. Please note, I am an individual buyer. I want what I like to buy. Okay. But then most of the time you are being influenced by others' behaviors, even when shopping. That's what we call social shopping. Let's examine how a success story of a case. I was referring to Jara fashion brand in the earlier sessions, if you remember right. The real story here is fashion and friends. Let's see. The case is how Jara, a fashion brand, got popular with young people in cities. You know what happened? Friends in cities started wearing Jara clothes. Okay. So how it spread? They posted pictures of their outfits on Instagram. So if you happen to be having an Instagram account, you open your friend's Instagram, and there'll be the pictures posted of recent Jara dress or fashion they bought. So what is the result of this kind of a spread? Other friends wanted to buy similar clothes to fit in. So this is what Jara learned. So knowing who young people hang out with helps them put their clothes in the right places. This is a very good example of being with the crowd. You know, that means you're influencing some youth, some students of colleges, wherein they wear Jara fashion dresses and they use these social media platforms to spread it. And you also buy that one by looking at the Instagram post of your friend. You're being influenced by your classmate, right? So this is what we mean by thing. It's a case in point here. How Jara got popular with young people in cities. Next one, how family affects what we buy. The principal family members, maybe your, father, mother, or maybe your brothers and sisters, they may also influence your buying patterns. Why family is said to be a very important group for you? Yes, of course, it's quite but natural that family is our first group, and they teach us a lot about what to buy, what not to buy. Your father might have told you to buy this, to buy that, right? So let's examine how different products being bought by you, being influenced by your family members. Yes, family has a big say in things like food, but maybe less in personal gadgets. Of course, your family members may not influence you in your personal gadgets. Like you want to have a particular dress for your mother might be influencing your sister might be influencing you, but a little beyond the family, you like to have your own, color, your most preferred color as such. So there are certain things, of course, maybe their influence may be less in personal gadgets, like the pen you would like to buy, the what you call the money purse, or what you call wallet you want to buy, something like that. The chappals you want to buy, whatever you may call it. But most of the time, like food, for example, your father might be telling and mother might be telling, no, 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 don't go to this, and this food could be better. So this is what it means. So who does what in buying? Let's examine here. See, in family, different people play different roles. See how they all will be influencing each other here. Let's examine who does what in buying. First one is a starter, the person who first thinks about buying something. For example, your family wants to buy a car. Okay, fine, but there will be some person who first thinks about buying something. This person is called starter, the person who first thinks about buying something. Okay, now there will be some discussion in the family about car and all that, because you decided to go for car. Your father might have started the conversation, let us buy a car. Now there will be so many choices, and there may be so many arguments with regard to different brands of cars that are in the market. So what may happen here, a person who gives ideas or opinions will become the influencer. For example, you being a person who knows everything in the market, and you're very well in tune with the different brands and all that, you may influence, or your brother may influence, or your uncle may influence. Your uncle might have bought already some brand of car, and he may say, yes, you please go with this brand, fantastic. Or you don't go with this brand, there are other versions available. So this person becomes an influencer. He's not simply a starter, he may be influencer because he knows some additional information. Now you that influencer will give you a lot of data. Next one would be who plays the role of a decider, the person who makes the final choice after a lot of deliberations, discussions, dialogues inside your family scenario. Somebody will be, oh, let's not go in for this kind of confusion and all. Let us decide to buy this car. Let's go for Maruti Suzuki, or let's go for Hyundai. Finish, decided. Then the buyer, a person who actually buys it, goes to the market and buy it. Of course, it may mean that you and your father might be going, or you and your mother and father might be going to the market, whatever. But you are a buyer. Then ultimately, who are the user? All of you are users in the sense when you would like to buy a car, but principally, who drives the car is actually the user. So that's also very important. Users preferences also are said to be very, very important. The driving convenience and safety mechanisms inside the car, you and me are not very much in tune with, because we don't drive the car, but your father might be driving the car. No, 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 this feature is good and all. No, whenever any product that is being bought by you, you should be in a position to understand from the user's standpoint. Am I clear what I'm saying? For example, you want to buy a cooking range. Naturally, the user is either you or your mother or somebody, because who are in charge of that cooking exercise in a family scenario. So, who does what in buying? The different roles you play: starter, influencer, decider, buyer, and user. Okay, how our family changes over time, but and what we buy different stages of our family life. Yes, of course, but family means here or how many members form a family. For example, you are there, you are a bachelor till you are not married. Okay, if you would like to buy for yourself, okay, go to the market and choose, because you are a mature person by yourself, and you can go and examine, and of course you may be influenced by your friends and somebody. Okay, fine, but you can go. Young single people who will be spending on clothes, gadgets, travel, and because you're all single, young and single people. For example, after you get married, you become a couple, and couple with no kids spend on things for the house, because household, because you make a family, and you want to have different things, provisions, this, that, and all. Okay, there will be some requirement. Families with young kids, now you got kids, children, then you buy things along with yourself. You need to buy things for kids and some health stuff, milk, whatever it's. Then of course, with family with older kids, kids have grown and they are into schooling and they are into college. So then you have to buy for education, bigger things now, right? You have to pay for books, you have to pay for extra tuition classes, you have to pay for internet facility, you have to pay for lots and lots of things like. Then when you are older couple, okay, when your kids leave after they get married, they leave, and you and your husband and you and your wife are there, then become an older couple. The requirements are, of course, as you're very young and you go for fun trips, excursions, visiting new places on travel, because you don't have any responsibility of rearing up children and all. You're free now. Your children got married and they have their own respective families, and also you need to spend on health, because you know very well that when you're getting old, you need to concentrate on health and all that. So, for example, insurance companies often target parents with young kids with with their insurance product facilities. Why I say this is, you need to understand how our family changes over time and what we buy at different stages of the family life cycle. Let us examine another case here: selling cars to families. See this very beautiful case with the impact it has made on family. The case is all about how Maruti Suzuki Wagon sold very well in India. Let us examine what is their market segment, who they aimed for. They aimed at middle class Indian families. Middle class Indian families. What they focused on, they focused on safety, they focused on space inside the car, a bigger car. Till then, the on the roads was Maruti Gen, Maruti Alto, etc. Maruti 800, etc. Now, Maruti Suzuki started looking at a bigger space in the car, and they started manufacturing this and branded it as Wagon R. They looked at safety, they looked at space inside the car, and being affordable. Again, you're not supposed to price it as a bigger thing and non-affordable thing. So they focused on safety, they focused on space, and they also focused on price affordability. How they advertised, they showed families using the car in their advertisements. A family of four are conveniently sitting inside the car and traveling longer distances. All their ads will be like that. So, what was the result? Wagoner became a very popular car for families. See, this is how we know the everybody feels convenient. Your children may say, "Yeah, it's very good for us to buy this Wagoner." And if you're a male, your wife may say, "Yes, sir, we let's go to buy this." So this is what the family influences what car. Next question is how culture affects what we buy. Because the culture and the subculture are the things, the people who share their beliefs, values, customs, traditions, etc. What is a culture? Just now I told you, it's a shared belief. అంటే మనకు నమ్మకాలు అనమాట. అంటే వాల్యూస్, విలువలు, ట్రెడిషన్స్ అండ్ సంప్రదాయాలు ఇవన్నీ ఏవైతే మనం పంచుకుంటూ ఉంటాం ఒక దగ్గర, అవంతా మన సంస్కృతి ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం వీఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ సే రిలిజియన్ గురించి మాట్లాడాలంటే వీఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ హిందూ రిలిజియన్ అండ్ సంబడి ఎల్స్ విల్ బి ఆన్ somebody else will be from Christian religion, somebody else will be in Sikh religion, for example. So you have some, some shared feelings, shared beliefs, customs, traditions, and all, and ways of doing things. Um, what is normal and what's important to a group of people? What is normal and what is important to a group of people becomes a point where all of us will share. Okay, so how it affects us, our culture, how it affects us. Will it be having any impact on the product that we sell, that we buy? The answer is yes. It changes what we like. That means cultural impact. What we want, it changes what we want, and what we think is important. Am I clear what I'm saying? So it can be food, it can be clothes, it can be festivals, it can be money, or whatever it is. So culture plays a very important role here. Am I clear? Also, wherein we say that you will be sharing beliefs, customs, traditions along with set of people, and that will be what we call culture and subcultural influence that will be working on that. So, what then makes up a culture? Things that shape our culture. We have just now, I was talking to you. Beliefs and values. What we think is right and important. Example, respecting elders, saving money. This is what we call a belief system. Bigger people in the earlier generations, when you see that saving money is very, very important. That means you have to go for saving plans and all that. Let it be a bank or invest or whatever. In the earlier, in our generation, for example, what we say, we would like to go for fixed deposits. In your generation, you go for risky investments. Of course, I'm not saying that it is right or wrong, but how your beliefs and values influence your, way of looking at things differently. So, what we think is right and important. Like, for example, in Japanese culture, we have respecting elders. course, in our Indo-Indian culture also, we respect elders. Am I clear what I'm saying? So this is a belief and value system. Then, of course, language and symbols, how we talk and the signs we understand are said to be very important. Because, for example, in a culture in two Telugu states, for example, we speak Telugu, but in case when you consider Telugu as such, there is dialectics do different. Because in Telangana, and in Andhra, when people speak, there's a lot of difference in the vocabulary, they spell, and all the different types of words they spell, and the way in which you examine how they talk. So this is again language and symbols also. That's why we say Andhras will be like this and Telanganates will be like this and all that. Then customs and traditions. That means we'll be celebrating a lot of festivals. For example, in Telangana, we give a lot of importance in Telangana. A lot of importance is given for Batukama festival here. But in ours, in Telugu region, where we say we'll be giving a lot of importance for puja and Dasara, Diwali, and whatever you call it. More importance. I'm not saying others will not celebrate Diwali and all, but the way in which you celebrate the what we call Bogi, Sankranti, this is what we mean: customs, traditions, things we usually do at certain times of festive occasions and different things. So, for example, in marriage scenarios, and you have some customs, you have some traditions. In X region, they have their customs and their traditions. So you look at the marriage celebration between southern and northern um, you know what you call places. Now that's the reason why you say advertisers or marketers also think in terms of this: how to create a cultural impact. I mean, uh, they design the advertisements, they market information in such that you're caught there. Let's examine advertisements of Surf Excel. See, during Holi, that connect to feelings and the festival. యాక్చువల్గా సర్ఫ్ ఎక్సెల్ అంటే ఏమంటున్నా, డిటర్జెంట్ బట్టలకి నార్మల్గా ఏంటంటే మీరు ఏదో ఫుల్ బకెట్ ఆఫ్ క్లోత్స్ అండ్ డర్టీ క్లోత్స్ అండ్ ఫుల్ బకెట్ ఆఫ్ క్లీన్ క్లోత్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సర్ఫ్ ఎక్సెల్స్ క్లీనింగ్ ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చెప్పొచ్చు. కానీ వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు, హోలీ ఫెస్టివల్ సీజన్ తీసుకున్నారు, హోలీలో రంగులు చల్లుకుంటారు కదా, సో అదంతా ఇదైపోతుంది. అక్కడి నుంచి తీసుకుని అక్కడ ఈ డ్రెస్ని మరి మళ్ళీ ఫ్రెష్ డ్రెస్ చేయాలి కదా, దాన్ని డిస్టర్బ్ అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి అప్పుడు అగైన్ దే సే సర్ఫ్ ఎక్సెల్ ఇస్ దేర్. So this is what we mean. The simple idea here is that culture tells us what is okay, what is not when we buy things. So that's how the marketers take advantage of this. Let's examine again another case. McDonald's India food. Problem is, most people in India do not eat beef or pork. అంటే ఆవు మాంసం కానీ పంది మాంసం కానీ తినరు. మోస్ట్ పీపుల్ ఇన్ ఇండియా డోంట్ ఈట్ బీఫ్ ఆర్ పోర్క్, మిగతా ఫారిన్ కంట్రీస్తో కంపేర్ చేస్తే. అది వాళ్ళ సమస్య, ప్రాబ్లం. దానికి సొల్యూషన్ ఏంటి? మెక్డొనాల్డ్ మేడ్ స్పెషల్ మెనూస్ ఫర్ ఇండియా, లైక్ మ్యాక్ ఆలు టిక్కీ బర్గర్ అండ్ పన్నీర్ ర్యాప్స్. ఇప్పుడు McDonald is rejected because they sell beef and pork, but they don't want to lose Indian markets, because in India, people, most of the people do not eat beef, but then they can make their presence felt in the market in India also. That's why they're going for vegetarian stuff like Mac Aloo Tikki, burger and paneer wraps and all that. Now, how you know how they sold it? Yes, they used branding that respected Indian culture. Fantastic approach. Need to respect Indian culture. So, what is the result then? McDonald's became very successful in cities and smaller towns in India. So this is how because the image, entire image is actually McDonald's products influence the customer class from the cultural standpoint. Now, people we look up to, reference groups again, another. Reference groups are groups that influence what we choose to buy. See, for example, you want to do an online course, additional online course, right? Which can help you to grow well in the employment market. Whom you are going to ask for this when you want to do some extra course, online course, self improvement course, which can enhance your employability skill? Definitely, your reference group will be the faculty members of your college, or somebody who is very much informed, or you go to people who have already done that particular course and what is their employment potential there. Those people will become the reference group. Or go to that coaching center or support center and ask them what are the probable opportunities if I do this course. Am I clear what I'm saying? So this is what we call reference group. That means whenever you buy a product, there will be some group of people who will be influencing, apart from your family, friends, and whatever it is. What we choose to buy, they will influence. Those people are celebrities, online influencers, can be friends also, yes, people of our age, that is peers, people of your own choice. Because you may ask your friend, you have you done that particular program? Yes, I have done that particular program. Is it easy? How much is the fees and all? So that becomes a decision point for you. Or some experts. Like for example, we were talking about in one important case of a product in the earlier session. How you're going to, because that who is that, Mister a milk product as such, wants to have a soya milk. So you go and ask this expert, can I buy this soya milk for protein drink? It is called. You ask for doctors. Am I clear what I'm saying? Say, for example, you want to buy a complicated, electronic equipment. You go and talk to mechanics or some expert people who can have that particular knowledge with them and can share. So this is what we call reference group. So what are the types of different groups which will be influencing your buying processes? One, people we want to be like. That's what we call want to be groups. You want to be in that particular group, and that group will become a significant influencer. Second, like us groups. That means people we feel connected to. We may not be in that group, but we feel connected to. For example, you're doing an MBA program. Okay, your classmates will be want to be the group. For example, you just gone to a fest, and there are different colleges and universities people come and join. So whenever you have a related question, you can also talk to other colleges people, other universities people, like us groups, people we feel connected to. You feel connected to those. Am I clear what's happening here? Your MBA grads likely to be getting your degrees. So you get connected to all MBAs, management programs, those are people who are doing management programs and all. Don't like groups. People we want to be different from. We are not at all interested to join this particular group as such. We keep them at distant. No, no, don't join. See, I don't like that kind of a thing. I mean, I'm not. I mean, categorically presenting what are the groups you like, what are the groups you want to be in, and we don't want to be in. But these are the types of people or groups, and where you will be interested in getting influenced. Okay. People who tell us what to buy, we have already talked about it, like reference group. Just like that, we have another term we are introducing here is opinion leaders. The name implies opinion leaders. Who are they? People who influence others because they know a lot and are very popular or are seen as experts. For example, you want to do a particular program in artificial intelligence, how it can help you to market yourself in the market. Clear? So, whom you are going to ask? Naturally, whom you think that they know a lot, they are very popular, and they are seen as experts. You choose from your faculty or from extended faculty, whatever it is. Where do you find them? Yes, that's why I told you in the early beginning itself that you should be very closely what you call networking. You should have to network. That's why you need to have an Instagram account, you need to have a LinkedIn account, you need to have a Facebook account where you can connect yourself with the others as such. Where to find them? There are selective groups, uh, empowered groups. People are there, so they can share a lot of information. Only thing is you need to get connected. Okay, what they influence? Yes, they they influence anything for that matter. They influence you to buy a phone, for example, or a fitness product, for example, a new technology, for example, a new laptop, for example, new courses to take up, for example. Am I clear what I'm saying? That's what it means. Say, for example, the technology experts on YouTube telling you with smartphone to buy, which smartphone to buy. There are a lot of YouTube tutorials are there, YouTube, what do you call, channels are there. I myself have a channel to educate our youngsters on professional personality development, management development as such. So, like that, there are people who tell us what to buy. These are called opinion leaders. Let's examine how again we were earlier referring to mama yat and mom bloggers. What is meant by blog and vlog. This is a what you call online platform where we can uh, what you call sell our idea very well. Mama Earth is a skincare brand that used moms who blog, who participate in blogs and vlogs. How they did, Mama Earth influencing. They worked with moms who are moms means mothers who wrote blogs and had followers like Instagram followers, whatever. They choose who are writing blogs and whose blogs are good. అంటే కాన్వర్సేషన్స్ అన్నమాట. బ్లాగ్ అంటే కాన్వర్సేషన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఎ థింగ్ అనమాట. తయారు చేస్తారు అది రాసుకుంటూ చిన్నది అది వాళ్ళు ఈ కాన్వర్సేషన్ రాస్తుంటారు అనమాట. దాన్ని బ్లాగ్ అంటారు. అలాగే వ్లాగ్ అంటారు వీడియో. అది వాళ్ళని తీసుకుని వాళ్ళ చేత ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేయించారనమాట. వై ఇట్ వర్క్డ్ ఏంటంటే అదర్ పేరెంట్స్ ట్రస్టెడ్ దీస్ మామ్స్ ఒపీనియన్స్. మిగతా మదర్స్ ఉంటారు కదా, మిగతా వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు కదా, ఈ స్కిన్ కేర్ బ్రాండ్ ఎలాగ ఉపయోగపడుతుంది, ఏంటి దాని వరకు అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటంటే ఈ బ్లాగ్లో కొంతమంది మామ్స్ చెప్తున్నారు కాబట్టి బ్లాగర్స్ అన్న వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు. వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్స్ అనమాట. For example, I use a lot of things like in YouTube and all that as a channel, right? So I am also an influencer. I'm a YouTube influencer. అంటే లాట్ ఆఫ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ దాని ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ అంతా కూడా థిమాటికల్గా ప్రజెంట్ చేస్తుంటాం. సో వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు చాలా పెద్ద ప్రాసెస్ అయిపోయింది అనుకోండి ఇది, అప్పుడు మార్కెటర్స్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే ప్రమోషన్స్ కోసం మా యూట్యూబ్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ దగ్గరికి కూడా వస్తారు. సో యూ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అదర్ I'm an academician for that matter. We have I am in touch with some other tutorials, marketers as such. అలా మీ దాంట్లో ఇది ఫోకస్ చేయండి. ఎందుకంటే ఎప్పుడు మనకి వ్యూవర్‌షిప్ అది బాగా పెరిగి పాపులర్ అయిపోయినప్పుడు ఆ ప్రమోషన్ వస్తుంది. అట్లాగే ఇలాగ బ్లాగర్స్‌ని, మామ్ బ్లాగర్స్‌ని ఉపయోగించుకునేది మామా ఎర్త్. అప్పుడు రిజల్ట్ ఏంటంటే పీపుల్ స్టార్టెడ్ ట్రస్టింగ్ ద బ్రాండ్ అండ్ దే బాట్ ఎ లాట్ ఆన్‌లైన్. అబ్సల్యూట్‌లీ. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు నేను ఫర్ యూ ఐ సే దట్ యూ ప్లీజ్ టేక్ దిస్ కోర్స్. ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ, స్కిల్ ఓరియంటేషన్ మీకు కావాలనుకుంటే ఇలాంటి ఆన్లైన్ కోర్సెస్ నేను ఒక 4, 5 ఇచ్చాను అనుకోండి. మై వర్డ్ ఇస్ టేకెన్ బై యూ బికాజ్ యూ ట్రస్ట్ మీ దట్ ఐఎమ్ ఇన్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్. ఐ మేక్ క్లియర్ వాట్ ఐమ్ సేయింగ్. సో అలా అనమాట. సో హౌ ది ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సింగ్ వర్క్స్ అండ్ who will be the influencers in the process, and certain other things that influence us when you buy different types of products and services. Let's examine. One is social class. That means you belong to either higher income bracket or in a middle class family or in a lower middle class family, whatever. This is called social class. Your income, your education, and lifestyle can change what you buy. It can be caste class also, like X class, Y caste, and Z caste, and all that. So in the social class, mostly your incomes, your education, your lifestyle can change what you buy. If you are a part of that particular social class, and that social class influences will be working for you. For example, richer people might buy luxury brands always, absolutely, because you become a richer by income or by education, whatever. You share those attitudes and views. And next is role and status. What job you have, and that can affect what you buy. For example, you may be a scientist, or you may be a doctor, you may be a professional, you may be a professor, you may be a software professional. So people of different roles and status will have an exhibited behavior modes in the process of buying certain brands. So, for example, doctors might prefer certain brands. Am I clear what I'm saying? So that's how it goes. So software experts, professionals may prefer certain brands, like that. Then third is subcultures. In a culture, there will be subcultures. Smaller groups within a big culture, like age groups may be there or religious groups may be there. For example, we have an Indian culture. India is a museum of races. There are different races here. Maybe religion, for example. Sikhs are different from Christians, are different from Buddhists, are different from Hindus, are different from Jains, and all that. But all are Indians again. We have broadly, we are under Indian culture, Varketo, cultural ethos. This is called subculture. And it can be population classification also. Young people, Gen Z, we call it, because generations and Gen Alpha now going on, Gen Z, baby boomers, Gen Y, you become Gen Z. Young people of Gen Z often like eco-friendly fashions, because to care for that particular globe and all that, no environmental degradation and all. You're very much conscious of eco-friendly fashion wear and all that products. Now, how companies use these ideas to sell more? Yes, the answer is very simple. That's what we call social influence in marketing. That is changing products for different cultures, using famous people as influencers to promote products, making ads that show families in and make an emotional appeal of family bondage and all, having special sales during festival seasons. For example, take the case of Cadbury. They go on, selecting festive occasions and, by eating Cadbury chocolates. And, this is a special sales during festival seasons and all. Letting customer review the products online and suggest product reviews and all. So these are the companies use these kind of things to use. Just to sum up what we would like to talk on before we close here. See, we buy as a part of the groups. Please note that you are an individual customer buying, but at the back of it, you buy as a part of a group. It can be religious group, it can be your peer group, it can be your social class group, or anything for that matter. Undercurrent will work, and accordingly, you buy different types of products. The main points what we were discussing till now is our friends or family or culture really change what we want to buy. That's what is important here in this discussion. And if companies understand these things, they can sell better. Yes. Instead of you as an individual focus, you are a part in a particular culture, in a particular subculture, in a particular social class, in a particular profession. So if companies understand these things, they can sell better because with their product appeals for different types of groups are different. Brands that listen to society do better in the long run. Absolutely fantastic expression here. The single sentence itself gives you lots and lots of stuff when we talk about how the brands must be presented. Brands that listen to society. People, we are not in isolation minded. We are in group of people, and we are being influenced by culture, subculture, social class, and everything for that matter. And that's how the long run effect would be. So for a classroom discussion, if Upendra sir is here, I suggest a classroom group discussion would be like this. First question, Ms. Madhavi, you can also take note of that and initiate group discussion in the classroom. One is, what made you to buy that XYZ product of your choice? Second, think about the last big thing you bought and how you bought it. Who helped you to decide and how, when you buy a X product or Y product or Z product? Was it because of your friends or family or someone you look up to? Who will be influencing you? Who actually influenced you? And having discussed this, everybody may have their own example and share with the group. And you can see how much we are all influenced. Everybody, for that matter, get influenced. Give you one more case. Cadbury India, just now telling you. This is with the backdrop of culture, family, groups, and all that. Let's see, culture. The Cadbury India advertisements often show Indian festivals, like, for example, Diwali or Raksha Bandhan, for example, after culture year, Raksha Bandhan, how the entire thing goes. And they show advertisements with the backdrop of the Indian festivals. And then slowly they advertise for their own products. That's a different thing. Then about family. Cadbury India advertisements show love and celebration within families, a family scenario, a birthday of a nice kid, and all family members join and celebrate the birthday. That's how. Then groups, they show kids sharing chocolates. See, group is kids are separate from adults, so they don't involve their moms and dads. They involve only kids sharing their own classmates friends and all. They show kids sharing chocolates with friends at school or at home over a party. No, all this will have an impact. What is the impact? The result. Connecting to emotions and culture has made people in India very loyal to Cadbury India. Fantastic expression, very fantastic thing. In conclusion, I may say here, please note, we don't buy alone. You may go to the market to buy the product alone, but you're being influenced by some group of people at any given point of time, mind you. And that's the reason why we say the final thoughts before I close. What we buy is often linked to the people around us. And all smart companies of all brands understand these social links. and social groups as such. And you should have to know how groups and culture work. If you know that, just that's the key to long-term success for all the brands. Thank you, friends. That's all for my side. I just close with this.